Hey, my unraveled friends. Now I've been posted in about a week or so. Life is lifing, but that's okay. We keep going. We have to talk. I actually had a deep dive of an upcoming case, scripted and ready to go today when I got home from work. However, today there was our surprise little hearing for Stephan Sterns, to take a plea. And so in exchange for taking the death penalty off the table, Stephan Sterns said that he was ready to plead to all charges. Now, I am 100% on board with the first trial being pleaded out. I think it was absolutely, a wonderful thing that Maddie's dignity can be maintained and that the CSAM trial does not move forward. And counts 21 through 60 of that trial were nullified in exchange for a guilty plea on counts 1 through 20, which were, the stuff that we've talked about, the CSAM, the lewd and lascivious, M-word, those things. And to those things, Stephan Sterns pled guilty. This coward, when the first-degree murder of Madeline Soto, when that charge was read, Stephan Sterns pled no contest. Now, maybe this doesn't infuriate everybody, but it infuriates me because it is just another example of this, I'm sorry, this garbage human being getting up in front of her loved ones and, the court and the nation and refusing to take accountability for what he did to that precious girl. And that makes my blood boil. It makes me so angry. And just so, again, if you guys watched my deep dive, I've been following Maddie Soto's case since she was just a missing girl in Florida all the way until where we are today. And I have been so emotionally invested in this case, and it kills me. What I saw today killed me. After Stephan made his pleas, we had victim impact statements that were beautifully written and read by some family members of Maddie, cousins, aunts, and then even some non-blood relatives of Maddie's. The two roommates who lived in the home, they got up there and they spoke for her and they advocated for her and they stood up for her. You guys want to know who wasn't there? You guys want to know who had one last chance today to speak for her daughter and no-showed? I'll give you 3 guesses, but you're only going to need one. Jennifer Soto. Nowhere to be found. What's to be said? This was your final opportunity to get up and speak for her, your little girl, and you were nowhere to be found. Jen, where were you? Please tell me what was more important. What could have possibly been more important than you being there to speak for her? That courtroom was full. It was full. It was full of people who were there to speak for and support and show love to Madeline and to see this thing through to the very end. And you weren't there? I don't know. And then the judge gave his ruling and found Stephan Sterns adjudicated guilty on these charges and sentenced him to concurrent life without parole sentences. And then, to put a little bow on top of this whole proceeding, Stephan Sterns spoke. And if my blood pressure was not already reaching stroke levels, it was now, because this clown had the audacity to pull a mic to him and start telling Maddie's loved ones and the court and the country that this has caused him such turmoil, such a great deal of pain, and that he has prayed to God every day to just trade places with Maddie, for her to come back and for him to be taken instead. But he knows God just doesn't work that way. and that he misses her dearly every day, and that he hopes that she's singing in the choir in heaven because she had such a beautiful voice. You don't get to say any of those things as far as I'm concerned, and I'm sure I'm not alone in feeling that way. You don't get to say that you miss this beautiful little girl who you took, in who you hurt in the most depraved of ways. You don't get to talk about her anymore, Stephan. And I hope this is the end of all of it for everyone's sake, though I'm not happy with the no contest plea. I feel like part of the sentence should have been that, like, you are never allowed to say this little girl's name ever, ever, ever again. That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts. We'll see how life in prison without parole for Stephan goes. We'll see what happens when he gets to Gen Pop and see if any of his fellow inmates take kindly to his little bitch boy tone and his whining and crying and woe is me victim mentality. And maybe his mommy will keep buying his root beer candies and his coffee and his books, and maybe that's what he wanted. I don't know. He's a coward. He disgusts me. But at the end of the day, this year and a half it has been an emotional journey for the people who knew and loved Maddie. And while I'm sure that no justice is really enough justice, because Maddie is not coming back, and that's the worst part of all of this, I hope that this monster being locked away for the rest of his life with absolutely no chance of getting out, I hope that brings some closure to people that loved her. And man, this one is just so hard for me. It has been from the very beginning, and I'll probably stew about this for a couple of days, but at the end of the day, he's not going anywhere and he's where he belongs. He can never hurt another child ever again, and that's what matters, is that Maddie got her justice today. Maybe not in the form that some of us were expecting, but she got her justice. With that being said, I'm happy that you guys were here to listen to me rant, because I really hate this man. And Jen Soto, two peas in a pod, her and Stephan, if you ask me. Her absence today really spoke louder than she ever could have if she had gotten up on that stand. It told more truth, I feel, than what she would have said had she shown up and read some statement that she wrote. It spoke volumes, and it's nothing that I didn't already think about her to begin with. So now that this is over and done, I have a case ready to go. Trial is coming up for this one as well. So I will come home from work tomorrow evening and get that one laid out and ready to go for you guys. I hope you'll join me for it. It might be a little bit later in the evening because, again, I'll have to record and edit when I get home from work, but it's not going anywhere. It'll be there whether you watch tomorrow night or the next day or the day after. Thank you, guys, for hanging out with me and letting me get all that off of my chest, because I needed to. Now maybe I can decompress, put my feet up. Till I see you guys, hopefully tomorrow. Please, please, please stay safe. Keep asking all of those questions and keep unraveling. Love you.